What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today we're taking it to the South, little UGK on The Great Debaters. Alright, Amir, so today on The Great Debaters, we're going to be talking about a little UGK, man. International Players Anthem. Now, this song,
My God,
so phenomenal. It's from the Underground Kings album, which came out in 2007. Of course, UGK had astonishing track record to this point. One of the best rap groups of all time, delivering so many amazing songs and albums for that matter. And of course, guest appearances sprinkled throughout their remarkable resumes as well. But with International Players Anthem, we get the production genius of Juicy J and DJ Paul, and we get Outkast, and we get UGK. That's like three titanic collaborators right there on a song. And when I had heard about this song before I actually heard the song, and I had heard that they were DJ Paul and Juicy J had produced the song, and it was going to be using a beat they had used elsewhere. But then I heard that it was going to be Outkast, and I was just like, this is like going to be one of the best songs ever made.
You know what's funny is I was reading about the song, and this song has such an interesting history. As you know, it was used on Project Pat's album a few years before, but even before that, when they were going to do the song, it was originally 3 6 Mafia and UGK, and then apparently Andre 3000 heard on a sampler, and him and Big Boy recorded verses to it and sent it in, and then they ended up choosing that over the 3 6,
right.
Which the 3 6 version ended up going on this album anyways as a bonus track, but it's just so
funny. Which is
funny.
still phenomenal, by the way.
Exactly, and then they even did the chop and screw and everything, but it's just so funny how this song has such a random history, and it still turned out to be one of the greatest. And it all started from Pimp C basically saying, that beat that Project Pat rapped over, I want that. I want that. And he said Project Pat was one of his favorites ever, so he made sure to make sure it was all proper, and it was.
One of mine too. Project Pat is astonishing on so many levels. We got to do a great debate on him one day.
Okay.
But he's literally one of my favorite and one of the most underrated rappers I think of all time. Project Pat's phenomenal. But we digress. Back to International Players Anthem. So we get right to it with the Andre 3000 verse just coming in, and as he's known to do, annihilating everything in his path. So Amir, right off the top, what'd you think of Andre 3000?
Man, he literally starts it right before even 1 second passes by. I love his intro, man. I love his delivery. You know what's very interesting about this verse is that in the video he's playing, the guy in the kilt, and the guy who's kind of the simp, settling down, getting married. Why are you getting married? Keep your heart, 3 sacks, keep your heart, right? But at this time, in actuality, real life, aside from the song, Andre's the only one who's not married. Pimp C's married, Bun B's married, Big Boy's married. We're not going to get into 3 6 Mafia because they didn't have a verse on the song. But these guys are all married. The song, Andre's playing the married one, so I think that's like really funny. But Andre, man, just the metaphors and the things he uses to get his point across, and how he writes, talking about peninsulas, islands, spaceships. He has such an interesting way of writing, and I think that's why he always stands out to people. And is in so many of the best lists, is because of this verse being a prime example of how he's so able to just wreck a verse and make it sound like nothing.
He's very distinctive, and I think you mean nothing else. But he's very distinctive because of his vocabulary, because of his phraseology, also a strength of Project Pat. But Andre 3000 with all the girls that I'd CC around town, playing off the CC of the emails or whatever. It's just the way he constructs his lyrics and his ideas are just amazing, and how you can visualize them, like some of the other greats, like the Ice Cubes or the Scarfaces or the Karis Ones or the LL Cool J's. How you visualize what they write makes their words that much more powerful, because it adds an extra dimension, and it's not something that you necessarily visualize the instant you hear it. You have to think about it. Yeah. And that, I think, adds a whole other layer to what Andre 3000 does. Whereas in the second verse, when you get to Pimp C, his stuff is much more direct, and it's not something that you really have to imagine what he's thinking about. It's like pretty straightforward, but in his way. And of course, Pimp C being another phenomenal rapper, his is just so hard and blunt and direct to where it's not, there's no confusion.
There is no confusion. There is none. And his voice coming in on this song is great. He ad-libs himself real quick. Sweet Jones goes in, I'm not a choosy lover, never do it without a rubber. And you know what's very clever about Pimp C is he says choosy lover, and then he says not in the sheets on top of the cover, and he's mentioning two Isley Brothers songs back to back, which I think was pretty clever. He then goes and says, you know, his very famous line about top-notch girls get the most, not the lesser. Amazing, driving the compressor. He even has real events that happened in his life, talking about he smashed up the gray one, bought a red. The Bentley, that's true. He had a red one. His gray one got smashed. I just think Pimp C, his charisma on this song, his charisma throughout his whole career is kind of what made him stand out. In this song, it's super awesome, especially if you watch the video and you saw his outfit. He was sporting one of the most iconic outfits in rap music video history, in my opinion. And then closing it out with "You're not a pimp, you're a fairy" line is just perfect. And it's funny because Pimp C has the shortest verse on this song, but he still really packs a punch.
Yeah. And then that leads into his partner in rhyme, Bun B's verse, which much longer. But also, Bun B, like many great rappers, it has that blend of you have to kind of think about what he says, but it's also very blunt and direct, and it's very subtle at times, how he kind of goes between the two. But I thought that Bun B, man, just breaking down the way he articulates what he says in this verse is so funny, man. So what do you think of Bun B?
And I know exactly what you're getting at here, because I think Andre 3000 has the more, innocent, I'm getting married, I need to drop my old girls tone. Bun B and Pimp C are more taking the pimping route, and he's basically saying easy as 1, 2, 3, you know, and ABC. And then he's basically saying he's trying to make money, and he's going the pimp routine route of trying to make money off these women, and these people are trying to get chose, and
the $1 billion route.
The $1 billion, $1 million man needs a $1 billion chick. So Bun B, and like Soren said, you kind of have to listen a little more, and I think the same goes with Big Boy's verse, and also something that we both haven't talked about, which yet, is how this beat just keeps building when each person comes in and it switches. And mega shout out to Juicy J and DJ Paul, because production like this is seldom seen this good. It's really hard to come by.
To that point, 3 6 Mafia and really of course Juicy J and DJ Paul from say 97 to maybe even up to 2007, they were, I would say, among the best producers in rap. I mean, their catalog there is pretty robust. Granted, most of it was for 3 6 Mafia, but then when you get into the stuff they did with UGK, or the stuff they did with Ludacris, with Diamond in the Back, or you get into the stuff that they did, of course, for Project Pat and the other 3 6 Mafia affiliated artists, I mean, it's remarkable. Tear the Club Up Thugs album is one of the best produced albums of that era also, which dropped in 99. So it's just sonically what these dudes did and even still do when they do choose to still produce, it's astonishing, man. It really is.
It is, man. Going into that Big Boy verse, though, another one that you do have to kind of pay attention to get what he's saying. And Big Boy's approach is even different from Bun, Pimp, and Dre, because now he's talking about, okay, well, what happens when that divorce comes in? And he brings up Paul McCartney as a prime example, spending $20K a day. Damn, she's eating good. I was like, oh my god, this is too funny, man.
That's very expensive eating habits.
Yeah, and Big Boy's so slick, man. He says C support, child support. He's saying, because you messed up the pull out.
Right.
And now you're in this whole spiral that you can't get out of. Even the lawyer can't save you. Big Boy, man, I don't think he gets a ton of credit for his verse that I've seen, but it's so good, man. And it's one you have to listen to for sure, but it's really potent.
All right. So all that being said, Amir, who do you think has the best verse on UGK featuring Outkast, produced by DJ Paul and Juicy J's International Players Anthem, and why?
Although it's the shortest, I'm going Pimp C. The charisma, the way he holds himself, the way he enters, the way he exits, the as you know, the presence he has on it, and just I love the quotables we get from these Pimp C verses. And I think on here, I think everyone drops an incredible verse, clearly, and I don't think Pimp C won by a mile, or I don't even know if I know you don't like this, I don't know if I'd call it the best, but it's my favorite. But man, I'm going with Pimp.
Okay. Well, for me, I think this is one of those that's very difficult to select because all four of them, I think, are, immaculately brilliant on this song. But I'm going to go with Andre 3000 because not only are his lyrics phenomenal, but with the intro and after we talked about with the production, it's very unusual to have essentially no percussion in a verse and instrumental and the weird sound of it. It's very unusual to have a verse like that and to then have it have such magnitude and such brilliance and to start off a song and to, become so iconic where the music's not even all in there yet. We're seeing these layers get added in throughout the song, and Andre doesn't have, whether you want to say the benefit, the crutch of the music, however you want to think of it, but he doesn't have that to his resources, whereas all the other dudes do much more than him. And I think that highlights his lyrics in a different way and highlights his verse in a different, unconventional, and unusual way. And I think it also shows how brilliant everyone on the song is because everyone had something slightly different to work with sonically and brought their own spin to it. But I just think how Dre did what he did based on the music itself, and whether that's how they recorded or not, I don't know. But how it ended up being, I think, is amazing. So that's my pick. Amir's got Pimp C, but what about y'all? Make sure to comment. Hit us up in the comment section. We'll definitely get back to you guys. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
The Great Debaters, y'all.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Young TV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.